to talk about what happened yesterday. Now, I've gone around the corner and I've been listening to the different preachers. And except for one person, no one's talking about what happened here in London. And I'm angry. And we need to talk about what happened yesterday. Now, I know Muslims don't want to talk about it, because there is this narrative here that this has nothing to do with Islam. And we're getting that week after week after week. We're asking the question that the politicians are not asking. No politician would dare say what I'm going to be saying next. And the difficulty is, outside of Speaker's Corner, there's no other place we can talk about it. We are not permitted to say that this is Islamic. We are not permitted to say that these were Muslims that killed those 7 people yesterday and wounded 48. Okay, what happened yesterday?
Forget that.
7 people have been killed, and you are saying forget that?
We're here to talk about yesterday. It's not even 24 hours, and he still wants to get off the subject. Now we go to verse 4. The first 3 verses define who a believer is and who an unbeliever is. Now let's read verse 4.
When you meet those disbelieve, strike their neck. When you meet the disbelievers, strike their necks.
Cut off their heads. So those who slay the unbelievers, if they should be killed while they're slaying them, they will go to paradise. There it is in the Quran. This is the only verse in the Quran that gives an assurance of salvation.
Verse 8.
Can you now see why so many young men are now volunteering themselves? And yes, they may be misfits. I would imagine many.
I have read the whole Quran. I have read the whole Quran.
Of a future for them.
I have got nightmares
You don't
because
have
of the
much of a
Quran.
future. Are you not going to volunteer so that you can go straight to paradise? It doesn't matter what you did the day before or even the hour before. As long as you die in the cause of Allah, as long as you slit the throats of the non-believers, you're going straight to heaven.
Surah 8 verse 16. And prepare against them whatever you are able of power and steed of war.
Steeds of war. What does steeds of war mean?
Whatever you have, whatever you can find.
Whatever you have at your disposal. If it means horses or trucks, you use whatever you can. And why do you do it?
By which you may terrify the enemy of Allah.
To terrify the enemy.
And your enemy and others beside them.
Where do you think the word terrorism comes from? It comes right out of that verse. To terrorize the enemy. This is the Quran telling them to do that.
So those people are just